Hello, guys. Welcome back to another installment of Professor Charles's Live. And today we're gonna talk about the most popular series on Amazon. If you have not seen The Boys, see season 1 before you see season 2. I cannot tell you cannot watch season 2 and keep up with season 1. Do not skip seasons, okay? Look, one of the best superhero shows that gives you everything from the villain's angle. You really feel like really on the villain side with this whole show. So let's talk about this season 2, episode 1, The Big Rise. So in this episode, we notice that Billy is not around. Billy is the main baddie and pretty much the good guy of the show, and let me explain why. Billy Butcher, which is the actual villain, also you can say really the hero of the story, is missing. His crew is looking for him. They don't know where Billy is at. Huey, also known as Mother's Breath as they call him in the show, has issues with the other members of Billy's crew. They're like, "Hey, yo, man, you not the top man in charge. We operate under Billy." So there's friction amongst Billy's crew, but also pretty much Frenchie and the other members like, "Yo, you not Billy. You ain't cut out for this. You just a nerdy guy that ran a video store." That's how they looked at pretty much Huey. Huey's like, he's the newbie, okay? Like we saw that last season, and the newbies still having a hard time being with the other members. Now let's talk about Homelander. Yes, the broken Superman of the show. Homelander, this starts off literally Homelander being at Translucent funeral. Very interesting. What I loved about this scene, we see Homelander have more of a empathy type of side to him and not as much of a narcissist as he is in the show. Homelander speaking, his memories of Translucent and in the moments he shared with Translucent as a hero. So these are the heroes of the show that I'm talking about. Translucent is the hero, so it's Homelander, but Homelander to me is a broken Superman / Captain America. That's pretty much what he is. And we can see that the Deep, he is pissed. He like, "Hey, yo, why they took me off the picture?" Because they were showing at his memorial all the memories that he had with the heroes and stuff. And I thought that was really neat. And we see Starlight singing at his actual memorial, and Homelander being like Godfather material to Translucent Sun. "Look, we're gonna find those villains, and we're gonna take care of this business. I promise." And you can see Homelander looking at the sun, and Translucent Sun looks like, why are you promising me this? I think Translucent Sun knows that Homelander's pretty much a narcissist and pretty much a douchebag. The only person that's really not at the funeral besides the Deep, that's the other hero, which I call a broken Aquaman, is the Noir, which is like the Batman / Punisher of the series. The Black Noir, Black Noir is on his own mission. He's out there killing terrorists and everything. One thing I like about Black Noir, he reminds me a little bit more of the Punisher because he doesn't kill kids. He only kills the bad guys. And that's something I can respect about Black Noir. Like, look, Black Noir is not killing kids. And it's interesting, the interaction between him and the kid. The kid looked scared. Like, he's seen his daddy head in Black Noir's hand. And like, what did you expect? The kid's traumatized. He looking like, you're not trying to kill me, right? And we can see Black Noir had a teddy bear. I said, "Oh, he's trying to make him feel secure." And the kid is worried, like, "Please don't kill me." And we see that Black Noir takes out all these other terrorists in this Pakistan country. And like, there's like 3 of them. Black Noir he's bad by himself, man. And you can see he's kind of got injured, along the way because he blew up a whole building complex. But he lets the kid live. So there is some sympathy. He's not out here just killing people. He's killing people that are bad. I guess his moral code is not killing kids. And we can see that how he interacted with the kid. He reassured the kid, kind of gave you that reinforcement like, "Yo, I'm not trying to kill you. I only killed those people because these are the people I was here to kill. I was assigned for this." Also, we learn about Edgar. Edgar is the one that's in charge of the heroes. I often wondered in season 1 when they were going to talk about who is in charge? We know that the politicians and the heroes operate on just I could say pretty much just like a hand in hand, back and forth type of relationship. But we see that Edgar is the big man in charge. He's the one that assigns the missions that the heroes go on. He did that for Black Noir that we saw. That's why he was not at Translucent's funeral. Also, we see the Deep is still having problems. The Deep is pretty much, he's become an alcoholic. We know he's a womanizer. We see that in season 1. He's touchy-feely, not just with the heroes, but regular women. You know what I'm saying? He tried to come on to Starlight. Starlight wasn't having it. But we see that he's become pretty much an alcoholic as a superhero now. And also the problem of him with women. And also the hero that sees that problem is pretty much the Eagle. The Eagle's like, hey, look, man, you got some issues. You messed up in the head. And the Eagle like, hey, look, man, I got somebody that can help you out. You know what I'm saying? And we can see there's a friction between him and Eagle. He's like, look, I don't need your help. He like, yeah, you do need my help. He's like, I know somebody that can help you get back into the 7, which are what they call the heroes. That's their own Justice League. You know what I'm saying? And we see that, and there's a conflict because the Deep thinking like, I ain't got no problems. This is, this been going on type of thing. You know what I'm saying? He's like in denial about it. He don't want the help. But then when they said we can get you back into the 7, he like, oh, because he didn't know he was out of the 7. You know what I'm saying? So the 7 is the main heroes of the Vault Corporation or industrial complex, you want to call it that. And pretty much he's lost his position. Translucent is dead. So pretty much they're looking for people to fill those slots for superheroes. And also we see in this episode is Huey's relationship with Starlight. Obviously, we knew that they liked each other. We saw that in season 1 where Huey kind of fell in love with her. Same with her. And we see the problem with that because Huey's the villain in the story. And also Starlight being the hero, one of the big heroes of the Vault Corporation. That is also a problem because if they're seen together in public, it's not a good thing. So Starlight, I can respect what she's doing. She's smart about it. She's like, hey, look, if I'm going to sneak out and you know what I'm saying, I can't be seen in my superhero gear. You know what I'm saying? So she's sneaking to see Huey's sneaking to see her. But Billy's crew ain't having it. They're like, you and her texting and calling one another. It's on a burner phone, Like, hey, they're not going to track that I called her from a burner phone. So I was like, wow. You can tell that Huey's like really dedicated. I said, oh, Huey still got a thing for Starlight. And she got a thing for him too. And we see the interaction between them on the train. They see each other and they're like, yo, hey, But also we see that Starlight is pretty devious, man. She literally came across another friend from the church that she came up in. I think she's like the only hero that really came from a church setting, I believe. But we can see that she comes across this guy named Gecko. Gecko was someone that went to the same church that she went to. And Gecko is a little bit not your, typical hero. He's a little messed up in the head. Gecko is doing stuff that he shouldn't be doing. That could taint his career. Because pretty much she said she'll blackmail him. Starlight was like, hey, look, if you don't do this job and give me this formula, the vault, I'll expose your little dirty secret and it'll taint your reputation. Gecko's a hero pretty much that can, any part of his body he can grow back. It's the weirdest thing. It gets crazy. I mean, I'm going to tell y'all, this show is a good show, but it get pretty crazy. Gecko pretty much can grow back any body part, his arm, his hand, his foot, even his other part of his body. I'm just going to say that. I'm not going to go in details about that. But Gecko, like I said, the interaction between her and Gecko, I think might have had a thing for Starlight. She wasn't really feeling them, you know what I'm saying? And you could see their relationship that they were, friends from a church setting. Also in this episode, we see, what's the name has a problem, Homelander. Homelander's new competition is Stormfront. And with Stormfront, she's pretty as arrogant as Homelander. I know who's more arrogant, is it Homelander or her? I love that she comes on the scene on Instagram Live telling her mother, like, oh, my mother's the biggest fan of you, Homelander. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this is just fanatics and all that stuff. But also in this episode, let me talk about this that I love. When Blindshot meets Homelander, because, you know, Homelander, they have to recruit heroes for the replacements of Translucent and Too Deep. Into Deep, excuse me. And literally, I was just like, oh, like Blindshot reminded me of Daredevil. He has really good hearing, can't see. And poor guy, Blindshot, man, that was crazy. Homelander's like, oh, well, let me see if this works. And he did something, and blood just started coming out of his ear with his laser. I'm like, oh my God. He said, I'm tired of handicapped superheroes. I'm like, dang, so Homelander has a agenda. He doesn't like the disabled superheroes. I'm like, dang, Homelander, you pretty harsh. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh no. I'm like, this, you know what I'm saying, and that. But also, the other thing in this episode that I noticed, A-Train is still in the hospital from the drug overdose that he had. A-Train's pretty much the broken Flash of the series. And I think A-Train, we see that Starlight goes to visit him in the hospital because of last season. You know, she knew what was going on with them, his little dirty secret that he had going on. But also we see Billy Crew try to pretty much sustain without Billy. Frenchie and the other team still had issues with Huey because Huey was the newbie to the team. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, we all top notch. But also, Billy's being framed by Homelander. Pretty much Homelander has a commercial out saying that Billy killed his politician lover and his baby mama, because that's Homelander baby mama after all, that Billy was the reason that everything went down. And in actuality, Homelander killed the politician. The baby survived, from what they said. And I love the reenactment where they had Billy confronting the politician. I'm like, bruh, get out of here. But one thing I can say about this episode was solid. It kept my interest all the way through. We see Black Noir a little bit more in this episode. We see In the Deep, him having his issues still. You know, and I was just like, yeah. But overall, still a good show. Like I said, we get a chance to see the issues between Homelander and also Stormfront. He does not want her to dominate, to be the new shining hero of the seven. And guys, if you have not seen The Boys, I highly recommend you check out the show. It's not your traditional type of superhero show. You're going to enjoy it. You're going to enjoy it from the villain's perspective. The villains are really the heroes of the show. But you guys tell me, have you seen The Boys? Have you not seen The Boys? You tell me in the comments. And this is my video for today, and I'm out.